10 points, but not taking anything for granted in his home state.
Last two nominees together, 4 days now until the election. Guy Benson, political editor, townhall.com, and a Fox News contributor. Chris Stirewalt, Fox News digital policy editor and host of I'll Tell You What.
Tell you what.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, Bill.
I want to show our viewers, and I want you guys to analyze the morsels of knowledge or the morsels of historical significance that we've seen, okay, so far in these campaigns. Take it back to 2012, Mitt Romney, Barack Obama. Let's go in here to Florida, right? In the state of Florida, southeastern part of the state, you had about 26% of the total vote 4 years ago come from these three counties, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. If you were to pop up here to Pennsylvania, southeastern part of the state, this is where Hillary Clinton will end her campaign. You had 20% of the total vote from the state come from these 4 or 5 counties in the southeastern part of Pennsylvania. This is the city of Philadelphia. Stirewalt, look at this. I think the overall result was less than 300,000 votes statewide. And Barack Obama had almost 600,000 votes in the city of Philadelphia compared to Mitt Romney, who was just shy of 100,000. You start looking at the map right now, and you start thinking about what's important and why and where you make the margin of difference. I mean, what do you think about 4 days away right now?
Well, 4 days we start to, as you say, it's not, the polls are fascinating and it's all very interesting, but the historical data about how these counties vote and how Trump behaves the same and how he behaves differently than a typical Republican nominee. So, for example, in Pennsylvania, why hasn't he done well in Pennsylvania? He hasn't done well in Pennsylvania, not because Hillary Clinton's going to do as well in the city of Philadelphia as Barack Obama did. She probably won't. But because Trump is doing worse in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Now, he can hope that the counterweight on the other side of the state, in the collar counties around Pittsburgh, around Allegheny County, that the Republicans have been doing better there, and they're more populous, blue-collar suburbanites. So in that way, Trump has hoped that he could bring Pennsylvania into balance, but I don't think there's enough to offset how poorly he's done with women in the suburbs.
Interesting on that. Guy, let me just show you another thing. Remember the primary when Trump rolled through Pennsylvania? This is Lucerne County, okay? This is blue, all right? It's Democratic. Trump picked up about 77% of the votes in Lucerne County during the primary. I'll take you over to Washington County, the southwest of Pittsburgh. And this is, I hear Stirewalt there. You know, Romney got 57% of the vote in that county. This is energy, it is coal, it is steel, it is blue collar, and you think about whether or not these counties can flip a little bit. Guy, go ahead and riff on that. Then I'll show you another example.
Yeah, well, I think that's right, Bill, because Donald Trump can appeal to a different type of voter than Mitt Romney did, particularly these sort of blue-collar Reagan Democrats that we hear so much about. I think what's interesting, because you were showing Philadelphia earlier, there's a reason why Hillary Clinton and her running mate and Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and Bill Clinton are all going to be in Pennsylvania on Monday. They are closing the deal, or they're trying to at least, in the Philadelphia area, in that media market. I think it's because, A, there's no early voting in Pennsylvania, so they want that sort of that wave to crest on Monday into Tuesday of enthusiasm. But there's a chance, and some people are saying, maybe the Democrats don't feel quite as secure about Pennsylvania as the polls would indicate they ought to be. That's one interesting thing to keep an eye on. The other one, Bill, very quickly, since you showed Florida before, if you look at the early vote, which only tells you so much, right now, Florida's overtaken the early vote from 2012 already, and Republicans have a very slim lead down there. It looks like it's going to be another nail-biter, surprise, surprise, in Florida.
All right, point taken on all that, too. Let me show you guys. I don't know if this is a normal traditional election or not, right, Chris? I mean, you think about that. I mean, in a normal election here 4 years ago, Trumbull County, this is deep blue.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Trump's been campaigning here. It's steel country. It's Youngstown to the south, and then here in the central part of the state, you've got Delaware County that went 62% for Romney. It's, you know, it's growing. It's suburban, affluent, white voters. Do they go for Trump at 61.7%?
No, they don't go for Trump at 61%. But when you talk about the Mahoning Valley, you're talking about how Donald Trump is ahead in Ohio. Because what's going to happen in Ohio is that down in the southern tier of the state, not just on the Cincinnati and Dayton side, but across into the Appalachian tier, all the way over to Ironton and whatnot. That part of the state is going to go so hard for Trump, it's going to, they'll have to find a new color of red in the Crayola box for how red that's going to be. Trump is not going to do as well as a typical Republican does in the suburbs and in Franklin County and in and around Columbus, which hurts him. But boy, he's going to do great with the Democrats, the blue-collar white Democrats in the northern tier of the state, maybe all the way over to Toledo.
You know, and also, Bill, I would say that one of the reasons I think that you're seeing Donald Trump outperforming Mitt Romney in a place like Ohio is that there are concerns that you hear about from Democrats about turnout among African Americans. I know they've made up some ground. They were really struggling in Cuyahoga County just a couple days ago. But overall, there are worries among Democrats that, especially in Ohio, African Americans and also places like North Carolina aren't turning out and will not turn out for Hillary Clinton the way they did for President Obama.
Can both of you see a monitor right now, by the way? I want to show both of you and our viewers at home. Take you back to 2004 with Kerry and Bush. You know, this is kind of a traditional modern-day political map. I think we'd agree on that. You're red in the middle and you're blue on the ends. And look what happened when Barack Obama beat John McCain 4 years later. It's blue in Colorado, New Mexico. It's blue down here in the southeast of Florida, North Carolina, Virginia. 4 years later, just a few subtle moves in the map, right? 2008 to 2012. It's just Indiana and North Carolina that Romney flipped. We don't have a sense just yet, Chris, of what this map will look like come Wednesday morning.
Right, and you could have, for example, for the first time ever, well, no, you could have a Republican who won Ohio, and this isn't the first time ever, but the Republican who won Ohio but didn't become president. And that's something that we don't see. The map that we know has been basically in place since 1992. Because of Donald Trump's strong appeal with Democrats and strong appeal basically with white voters without college degrees, states that have white populations of more than 75% and states in which more than 75% of the adult population do not have college degrees are a killing field for Hillary Clinton because the Democratic Party abandoned working-class white voters a while ago, and he's going to do very well there. So we could, in fact, be looking at a brand new map in which the Republicans are the party of the populist white voter, of the downscale white voter, and the Democrats are suburban whites and minorities.
Guy, can you do that in 15 seconds, quickly?
15 seconds. 3 steps for Trump is the clearest path for him. Win all the Romney states, add Florida, Ohio, and Iowa, and then you need 11+ more electoral votes. A couple ways possibly to get there. Data makes it tough, but it's plausible at least.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. I keep coming back to North Carolina. I don't know why, but I keep coming back here.
You're right.
See you later, guys. Thank you, Guy. Thank you, Chris.
I suggest brick or claret if you're looking for a new red in the